Oh, hey, you. Yeah, you're back for more surveys. I love it. Yeah, I'm happy to see you as always. Yes. I don't say that to everybody. Trust me, I get some people in here. Ooh, man. They have some hot takes. I tell you what. Yeah. I mean, it is also the summertime, and I do feel like people tend to be a little more, let's say, feisty in the summertime. You know. Um, so let's see. You are here. Let's see. Okay. So, ooh, you got tapped for a fun one today. Let's see here. So, okay. Let's see. Oh boy. Let's take a look. So, we actually have a bit of a brand survey for you today. It's kind of a, how do I say, I think you'll get a feel for it. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be asking you about various brands. It could be clothing brands, it could be car brands, it could just be, brands in general. And then you are going to tell me how you feel about them. I know, it's kind of a spicy one. And again, I can't tell you, as always, I can't tell you who sponsored this survey. I can only tell you that I am an impartial third party. I don't get paid differently depending on your answer. I have no horse in this race. I don't, like I said, I don't get paid differently depending on how you answer. There are going to be 4 categories of how to rate these brands. It's either favorable, unfavorable, neither favorable nor favorable. Wait, unfavorable nor favorable. It's hard to say. Or I have not heard of this brand, which you can also use if it's a brand like you've either never heard of or never interacted with, things like that. So, I know, are you ready to get started? Perfect. So, the first brand that I'm going to ask you about is the brand Cadillac. Yep. Just says Cadillac. It doesn't tell me what they do or anything like that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. The next brand is Apple. Perfect. You're doing great. All right. The next brand is Disney. And don't mind me typing here. It's not related to how you're doing. It's just something that I have to do to kind of show that I'm listening. Because as always, these are being recorded and you can always skip a question if you feel like you don't want to answer it. Let's see here. Okay. So, don't mind me. I've got to get these pulled up and my computer's being really slow. Let's see. So, all right. So, the next one is American Eagle Outfitters. All right. And then we have Calvin Klein. And we're talking the brand, not the person. Correct. Yeah. You don't need to know anything about the person, only the brand. All right, perfect. And let's see here. So, what about the brand Ivy Park? Same. Okay, what about Gap Inc? All right. Let's see here. What about the brand Zoomies? Well, I guess it's a store, not a brand. What about Zoomies? Okay, perfect. What about Target? Okay. What about McDonald's? Are you favorable, unfavorable, somewhere in the middle? Have you never heard of McDonald's? I know. Okay. And let's see. All right. What about Ford? Okay. What about LL Bean? I know there's kind of a little bit of everything. Okay. And what about Olive Garden? When you're there, you're family, right? Just saying. I'm sorry. You're my last survey of the day, and I'm feeling pretty silly today. I won't lie to you. Feeling silly. Yes, I know this is recorded and my boss is probably going to talk to me about it, but that's not my problem. I mean, it kind of is. All right, what about Dairy Queen? I know it's making me hungry. Okay, what about Chevrolet? I know it's a French sounding name, but it's an American brand, I guess. Okay, let's see. What about Microsoft? Okay. Let's see. What about Kellogg's? Okay. And let's see. What about Colgate? Okay. And let's see. What about Tide detergent? I know it's awkward to say Tide on its own, so we have to clarify. Okay. And let's see. What about DKNY? All right. What about the Wall Street Journal? Okay. What about Frito-Lay? Okay, let's see. What about Pepsi? Okay. And Betty Crocker. I know, only a few more of these. And then it's something a little different. Okay. What about what about Zappos and Clorox and Duncan Hines? Okay. Let's see. What about, let me read here. What about Nike? All right. And let's see. What about Lululemon? That one's fun to say, at least. Lululemon. All right. What about Walmart? Okay, let's see. What about Oreos? Okay. I know, only a few more of these, I promise. All right. What about Kraft? Yeah, like the food company. Okay. What about Whole Foods? Okay. Next up, we have Costco. Okay. Now we have Ulta. And now we have Applebee's. Okay. Let me double check. I want to make sure we got through everything. I think we did. Okay. Perfect. So, we've gotten through your judgment of how you feel about the various brands. Now, in asking you about those brands, was there a common correlation between them? If so, what do you think the correlation is? And again, don't worry if I'm not typing everything that you say. It's being recorded, so that way we've just got it. Okay. Okay. You know, I've never actually had someone say that that was the correlation before, but I like where your head's at. Yeah, they don't tell me what it is, if anything, so I honestly don't know. They keep us in the dark about it too. Okay. Now, I'm not going to ask you to rank all of the brands that you heard because it is quite an extensive list. But out of the brands that you heard, was there one that stood out to you that you favor the least? Okay. Good to know. Yeah. I mean, that's totally valid. Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer. You're allowed to feel how you feel, and your feelings matter. So, Okay, now conversely, out of the brands that you heard, was there a brand that stood out to you as a brand that you favor the most? So, like a brand you utilize, a brand that you identify with. Yeah, it doesn't need to be like a part of your life every day, but okay. Okay. And then let's see here. So now, as far as the brands that were listed, do you feel like any of them care about your well being as a person? If so, or I guess, why or why not? Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Now, have you ever been employed by any of these brands? Even as like a temp job or for any extended period of time? Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I know we're almost done. You're doing great. Now, has anyone you know been employed for any of these brands at any time that you know of? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Now, if you were to have a guess at who sponsored this survey, who would you guess sponsored it? I believe I already asked that question, but it is on here twice, so I have to read it. I know. Maybe they're double checking your answers. I don't know. Anyway, all right, moving on. What is the level of education that you have completed? Are you a high school graduate or equivalent, college graduate or equivalent? Are you doctorate or equivalent or something else? Okay. And what field of work are you in? Are you in the financial field, like banking? Are you in the hospitality field? Like, generally, what kind of field do you work in? You can be as specific as you'd like. Okay. That's fascinating. I always forget that's what you do. I know. I'm not supposed to keep tabs on you guys, but like, it's kind of my job, you know? Anyway, okay. We are almost to the end here. Now, this last question is a bit of a, let's call it a thinker. So, this last question is, if any of these companies were to sponsor like a charity, say your favorite charity, whatever the case may be, maybe they're helping an underserved community or something like that. Which company would be the most surprising to hear that they have sponsored a charity? I kind of agree with you. I'm not saying great minds think alike, but I am saying that I kind of agree. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got everything we need here. And then I know that you're squared away with the front desk. Yeah, they'll get you squared away as far as payment, things like that. That's not my job. I don't know anything about that. But I'm very happy that you came in. Always good to see you. And I hope to see you again soon. All right, I'll show you out. Take care.